10 in a row.
And now Wendy Macpherson must strike to force yet another roll-off.
Hang on.
We can go all day. We can go all day if that's how you want to roll.
10 in a row for Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. 2, 4, 6, 8 in a row for Wendy Macpherson.
This is great stuff.
Roll off number 3, the winner to move on to the championship match to join Stefanie Nation and Jodi Woessner. Your number 1 seed, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard, up first.
Three in a row in the roll-off.
That's an 11-bagger, my friend.
Unreal.
2 20-time titleists going at it. It just doesn't get any better in the sport of women's bowling.
No! Leaves the 10 and CDB moves on.
What a battle.
Oh, get on your feet, Lake Wales. That was a blast. We had to go to roll off number 3 for Carolyn Dorin-Ballard to finally eliminate Wendy Macpherson and roll on to our title match, where she will shoe up with Stefanie Nation and Jodi Woessner. When we return, more from the lanes with the Women's Series Showdown presented by the USBC. Nation wonderful earlier in the day, and she's standing by with Brienne Pedigo.
Well, Stefanie, you just watched that sudden death roll-off between Carolyn Dorin-Ballard and Wendy Macpherson. 11 strikes in a row. Carolyn rolled. Does that make you a little anxious going into the finals?
Not at all. You know, I just got to get out here and bowl my own game, and hopefully I can strike a lot too.
Now, Carolyn's your bowling hero. How does bowling against her improve your own game?
She's a phenomenal player. I've always looked up to her. Just got to put all that aside and just play the lanes tonight.
The ladies are getting ready to roll, guys.
Thanks, Brienne. Thank you, Stefanie. We will get you set for our 3-way title match when we return to Lake Wales, Florida.
This is a photo of our first lumber liquidator store. We didn't have a...
Beginning in the left lane.
All 3 of these women, their scores were 12 for all 3. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard, interestingly enough, the number 1 seed, gets choice of lane. So guess what? She's going to stay on the lane she's had the most success with.
11 straight strikes going back to last game.
Come on.
Woessner starts strong with a strike.
Some heavy hitters in this championship match.
Now, what's interesting here is Nation and Woessner have had some time to kind of cool their proverbial jets a little bit, and here comes CDB. A rough start in her opening match, smoked through the eliminator and the bowl-offs, the roll-offs, and here she is in the title match as your 1 seed. Fatigue or energy?
Oh, she is totally energized. And you know what? We've seen that a lot on the PBA Tour, where a player barely sneaks by. All of a sudden, they find something, they get a look, they catch fire, and they do nothing but throw strikes. That's now 12 in a row.
Up now, Stefanie Nation. Again, a huge crowd here in Lake Wales in favor of her. Grew up in Miami, went to college at the University of Central Florida, up in Orlando. The UCF bowling team here in attendance cheering her on. first non-strike of this championship match. And for Stefanie, bowling occupies her day job as well.
I currently work for USBC in the equipment specs department. I'm the technical assistant to Steve Klumpkin. We test all the new equipment and lanes and pins that come through, and it's been nothing but great working for them. They've been very understanding of bowling, and I couldn't be more happy.
It's interesting talking to her earlier today about what the next big thing in bowling is. We'll talk about that in just a second. She takes care of the single pin spare, and I said, hey, you know, all right, so if you're testing all this great stuff, you know, the pins and the lanes and the balls, what is the next best thing? And she goes, two-handed. You know, we were starting to set specs for drilling. We're working a lot on two-handed coaching. And I said, well, is it the Jason Belmonte effect? And she said, there's always been in the works, but when he won, made that show, the phone lines lit up. More and more kids going to the two-handed approach.
Two for two for Woessner to open this one up.
Rob, I've actually started my own two-handed approach.
Go on.
Good shot.
Check this shot out. I'll tell you what, Jodi has been very impressive today.
She rolled a 12 in her opening match to win it, to automatically move on to our championship match. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard struggled, snuck into the elimination match, and had to go through 3 roll-offs to get here.
Roll up. Come on. Yeah!
CDB is shooing up Lakeland.
She doesn't need to use two hands. She's getting that ball to face up that 1-3 with bad intentions.
New life here.
Stefanie Nation opened up her Showdown elimination match with 4 strikes. Here she is looking for 2, or rather for her first. Again, she left the 2-pin in the first frame for a 2-point total.
Well, she went light the first shot, Rob, and you can see her bowling ball pushing just a little bit too far down the lane before it starts to make its break. So, you know, there's going to be an adjustment made, and it needs to happen very soon. Maybe a stronger ball, maybe moving a bit farther to the right and just going up a little bit more direct.
Again, using the Johnny Petraglia scoring system, she picks this up. It'll be back-to-back 2-point frames, and she will be 2 behind both CDB and Jodi Woessner. $25,000 on the line for the winner. So Nation started strong in her first match. Back-to-back 2-point frames here in the title match. She trails CDB and Woessner by 2.
There's only 3 days left to file your tax.
Due to time constraints, we move further ahead in our coverage of the PBA Women's Series Showdown presented by USBC, coming your way from Lake Wales, Florida.
We begin the 7th. Jodi Woessner opened with 2 strikes, and now back-to-back strikes in the 5th and the 6th.
So she's at 9 points through 7, and up steps the story, the one-woman wrecking machine here in Lake Wales.